Welcome back to the Foster's After Show on AFTERBUZZ TV. Tonight we are breaking down Season 4, Episode 19, titled Who Knows? Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, AfterBuzzers. I don't hear a theme. Is there a theme?
It's there.
Oh, it's low.
Oh.
A slow jam.
A slow jam.
For ladies' night.
For ladies' night.
But it's just the three of us tonight.
Just the three of us. I wonder how the discussion's going to go. Sorry for all of you who missed Jeffrey, but he'll be back.
We should have had some wine.
We should have had wine.
have.
Missed opportunity, ladies.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Missed opportunity. Anyway, before we start, because there is a lot of crazy SHIT that happened in this episode, let's do some intros. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jillian Leff.
Y'all can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the Hotshot Dude. My name's Hannah Prichard, by the way. Great.
And you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Giorgi and on the Instagram at the Stephanie Giorgi.
We are Giggle Fest tonight.
Yeah.
And I will
weird.
do my best to check my phone during the episode, but if you guys want to tweet at Hannah or Steph with any questions, comments, concerns, that would be amazing.
Yes.
We were supposed to have Brandon Quinn on tonight, but unfortunately, his shooting schedule got a little bit dragged behind. So hopefully we'll have him on season 5. I'm really excited. Also really disappointed because this was a Gabe-heavy episode.
Right, and
Yes.
it's like he knows I'm in love with him and he's trying to, like, avoid it.
I know, he's just dodging you.
It's so weird. It's like, come on, we'll play it cool, man. Don't worry.
Well, luckily, he's not only on The Fosters, but he's on another show called Rebel. So if you miss him there, you'll be able to see him on Rebel. Yeah. So let's break this down, guys. I don't even know. I'm going to just start off with what I thought was the biggest, oh my God, of this episode, which was Kyle's change in behavior, looks, demeanor when Callie met up with him.
And answers.
Answers. Yes,
Yeah.
everything. Completely different person.
I know.
Completely.
You know, I can't tell if it was really him being defeated, meaning like, I don't care. Because everything that he said was valid. He's right. She has it easier. No one's going to really see. He doesn't have the advantage of like what the lawyer was telling Callie, that she'll look naive and young and innocent. You know, he won't ever look like that in the eyes of a jury or a judge. And I feel like it's very possible that he would have just stolen the money and that's it. You know? Just because he stole the money doesn't necessarily mean he'll kill, even though they say if you steal, you'll kill, kind of a thing. But
Yeah, that ain't true, though.
I mean, I don't know.
I used to steal from Target, so I don't think that I would kill anybody.
Rebel. It's Rebel
Target
over
is
here.
on our hit show right now.
Target, don't come after me. I didn't say my last
Damn,
name, guys.
guys.
You forgot it.
I think obviously we knew that he was feeling really broken after that whole scene with Callie a couple episodes ago where he was like, you got my hopes up and all these things, because he really did, you know, I don't even know what to believe. Did he lead her on? Did she lead him on? I don't know anymore. The teardrop thing really threw me off because obviously Callie explained, you know, that means that you killed somebody. So is this a story that he made up in jail, or did he actually do it? Like,
Well,
I'm so confused
Well,
at this
so
point.
am I, because once he came out, once I saw the teardrop, I already knew that that was what it was.
Right.
My thing is that when you're in like prison and if you get into like more maximum security, it's one of those things where if someone's trying to like play you, you're gonna say, you know, what are you in here? I killed somebody. Are you still gonna mess with me now? You know,
Right.
I would say just out of protection, which he says to her. I had to
Right.
be, I needed protection. So you get tatted up and you hang out with the certain people because that's the life in there.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it could be anything, and like I just can't decide if he just went along with it because he thought, look at this white girl's coming to help me out, and if it's with her face that's doing it, then you know something can come out of it. I don't know. I really don't know, because Troy. Then why would Troy be such a weirdo and so aggressive?
Right.
I can't decide if when Callie gets in the car with Brandon, if she actually believes him, or there's still sort of a doubt in her mind.
Right.
Like, what do you guys feel?
I have no idea, because originally when he sat down, I was like, he's totally making this up because he did get the tattoos and everything to protect himself in jail, which makes complete sense. But then by the end of it, like, his behavior seemed natural to him, actually.
Right.
Like, and you know, that credits the actor as well, but which he did incredible now, seeing him play both sides of that character. But by the end of it, he still wasn't letting down, even when she, I felt like, was talking about going up on the stand and everything and trying to defend him or say whether or not he killed. Like, I don't know, him not backing down on it and he never wavered made me think that maybe he did actually do it. But yeah, there is still the doubt with Troy because Troy still to me is fishy.
So, and we didn't even get to see Troy this episode,
Right.
which was like, I don't know, for having it be 5 days before the actual trial, I was kind of hoping that we were going to be able to see something more, especially now that we know. Okay, so obviously we know the creepy guy. What was his name?
Doug Harvey.
Yeah, Doug Harvey. So we know Doug Harvey is being brought in by the crooked cop or the crooked detective, and they have video of Callie, so they can't use that in her defense because it proves that she broke into the house.
Right, which I don't even know why Doug Harvey, living as a hoarder, has a camera in his house unless he has something to hide.
Well, I mean, maybe it's just that he is a very nervous person because he seems like he's, you know, kind of the person that's always looking over his shoulder, always freaked out. At least that's the vibe I get from him.
Agreed.
Right? So it wouldn't be like too surprising, but to have the camera in like it was in the bathroom, wasn't it? Because you saw her grab the toothbrush. That's a little creepy. Like, who has a camera in their bathroom?
Yeah.
True.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Was it the bathroom?
I think
mean,
so.
Where was his toothbrush?
I think his toothbrush was somewhere random in the kitchen. Remember, it was below
maybe.
a board,
it?
like a cork
God.
board.
Well, if I'm wrong, I hope it wasn't in the bathroom.
All of our Twitter people are kind of all over the place. Lisette Escobar thinks that he might have just accepted his fate, meaning he probably didn't do it, but now doesn't care. Christopher at Chunsicker20 says that he hates him because he does believe that he manipulated Callie. I mean, but that's the whole thing. I mean, did he? I don't know. Adult prison. At Case 5 Squared says adult prison made Kyle look like an adult, buff and shiz. Oh. I thought that was going to be something else. Like, what?
Well, I don't really know where this is going to lead. Obviously, there's going to be a major shift in the finale, which the preview set up for, and we'll definitely talk about predictions when we get there, but we still have a lot to break down. I want to stay on Callie, though, because I feel like there were a lot of things that happened. Let's go back to the beginning of the episode when they're, like, sort of talking to I guess in the kind of the beginning, where they're talking Robert's legal team's strategy. So they say that Robert is down with the plan, right? But he's not there. They talk to him over phone communication. And they have Callie dressed up, and she looks like...
Younger, yeah. She looks like
mousy,
Sophia.
like...
She looks like Sophia.
Buttoned up.
Right, yeah, she does.
Like, it is crazy that these are actual conversations that people have.
But it
blows my mind.
It's what they always do for court cases, and I think it's always silly because they always do that for court cases. So obviously whoever's going on trial is going to button up and look like this pristine little person, which to me, I'm like, that almost makes you look guilty, I feel like, because it's so overdone.
I think so too, but a lot of these court cases, they have strategists that come in and you know, like to figure it out, just because they know how people work, what they said. Mind you, jury people are just who get it in the mail. It's not like you take a class. It's like you have to do it. So it could be anyone who has a bias, who doesn't, and they're just sitting there, and like they said, they need that first impression because people are people.
One of the first stories that I covered in LA as a reporter, this was like back in 2011, was one of like Lindsay Lohan's, like she like robbed something, and I was at the Santa Monica courthouse, and she wore like this blouse that was like buttoned up with like a big like it's called like a pussy bow. It's like a big bow.
Yeah.
And these like really like loose fitting pants. It just like wasn't her at all.
I remember that.
Yeah.
When I was saying that, I was thinking Lindsay Lohan in my mind, legit.
Because every time she dressed up for court, it was, I don't know, it just got in my head, and it's like, I love that the Fosters is sort of showing every side of things, you know, the strategy, and it's just interesting to me. I like the way that they're breaking it down, even though I don't agree with it. Like, I wouldn't say that their strategy, obviously I want to be on Callie's side. Like, how do you guys feel? Like, do you agree with the strategy that they put together? Do you think that it's acceptable?
I do. And it's one of those things where, I mean, yeah, because I don't, and she's a girl. So as much as she's a white girl, now she has to just be careful because she's in a place where they're going against her. So that kind of sucks. And it's not like, it's like white on white, but like, guess what? The white man always, in this day and age, still wins over the white woman. And so it's difficult because you have to kind of be quiet. You don't want people, guess what? When a woman's like has a loud mouth, not everyone's still happy about it, especially if the judge is loud. People, there's a saying in Spanish called, la más calladita es la más bonita. The quieter one is the prettier one. essentially saying that that's the one that everyone likes because no one wants to hear you running your mouth.
Well,
kind
Callie's
of a thing.
not quiet though.
Exactly.
Not
so
at all.
so people get angry. People want to say, you know what, this girl's kind of out of control. She probably did do something wrong, or you don't know where her head is at. Where if you're nice, quiet, and innocent, how could this lovely innocent person do anything like that?
Well, it was hard watching her react to them because she was so aggressive in nature.
she was.
Like I would hope that if you're about to go to jail,
Potentially.
I would be like on my best behavior.
Absolutely.
And she was so hung up on this Kyle thing. And I guess hopefully her going to see him and seeing that doesn't confuse her more but provides clarity for her. Right. Maybe she won't feel as guilty to say like he did it, because that's what they want.
Yeah.
They want her to be like he killed, you know. The other guy had nothing to do with it. It was all Kyle. So it's just kind of heartbreaking. Like,
I understand why she went though, because it's a matter for her meaning if she said she was going to do something, she has to do it. She would feel like a coward had she gone to court and said that he did it without having talked to Kyle first.
Absolutely.
I think it does give her some clarity, but that last teardrop that she had seemed as if she believed now that Kyle did do it.
Agreed.
So that's fine, but now she's screwed because of the Doug Harvey case, so it doesn't even matter. It's now, do you know what I'm saying? Because we saw in the preview something about 30 years. What?
But do you...
3.
well, that's like a plea deal that she could take. I assume. I mean, we don't hear too much from the preview, but it was like you can take 3 years. But still, like with a young girl, she's young, like 3 years off your life, and also that changes you forever.
It does.
Those 3 years.
But do you think though that if she says that she believes that Kyle did kill, then I feel like that will take away any need for them to show that Doug Harvey footage, and then I feel like it'll just be based around her and Troy, and like Doug Harvey will kind of be out of the picture and all of that.
I would hope that they don't even bring him into it, but that cop Gray, Detective Gray, he has like something against Steph.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there's some weird business going on, and that was never resolved.
I'm wondering if he's saving his own ass though, because clearly he had something to do with Troy in the beginning.
Yes.
So I'm not sure what it is, and I think that's what's most difficult about this entire case is because now no one looks cool. So one of the Twitters said that they think that Troy has one of the tweets, excuse me, Troy has a mental issue, but that Kyle still is kind of weird and they probably still like killed her. But I don't know. Everyone's acting weird. Now Kyle's saying that he did it. And maybe and we see that he stole money. Troy is clearly way too aggressive and had like an affair thing going on. Could have been irritated by his grandma. Maybe hired Kyle to do it. And then now we have the detective being super weird as well. You know, and then why is Doug Harvey so weird? Clearly he has an issue too. OCD, hoarding, a bunch of things that we could just see visibly. But who knows? Everyone falls into the category.
I just really hope that the writers provide us with some clarity in the finale, whether, you know, person A or person B did it, how it happened. Like, these are things I need to know. This story, I feel like we've been really invested in because Callie's been so involved with it, that they owe us.
Right.
Sort of an answer.
Right.
Agreed.
And I don't know. You owe us, guys. Tell us, writers. So, besides that, with Callie, we obviously have to talk about the Browley scene.
Okay, good.
Because Jeff's not here. And it was the first time we've really seen them talk together all season, truly.
Yes.
I thought it was a really beautiful conversation, and when Callie said, "I miss us," I was like, girl, just stop there, as friends.
Right.
Either way.
Which is fine. Like, I've come to accept it, especially after the speech that Brandon gave Steph, where he was like, she's my sister.
Right.
Like, as a Browley fan, it does break my heart a little bit because I think that they have such amazing chemistry together. But at the same time, fans, you can't argue the fact that they're siblings now.
Right.
Yeah. And we have to look at them through a different lens.
Right.
And, you know, as much as I think that your first love is always the one that you remember, not to say that they were in love, I do believe that when you're younger, you kind of do get over things. I mean, it's not like you're still stuck on, like, how many guys did I like when I was in high school? But it changes, and yes, their circumstances were different, but also and they're siblings, and I think that they can 100% move on because they weren't at the time. So it's okay. You can forgive that. Not at the moment. That's why they wanted to keep a secret. But later, absolutely.
And I think that the writers agree with this because they didn't show us the car ride.
Agreed.
I thought that was very plot specific.
Yes, you're right.
You know, because if there was some sort of like tension between them or whatever, something was going on, I feel like the car ride would have been an important thing, especially because the mama stressed how long the car ride was, and they didn't want her to go alone. So I felt like that was the writer saying, like, they're good.
Right.
They're in a good place.
They are in a good place.
We should embrace it.
Yeah.
I
I don't know. Like, that's how I feel.
Well,
I know.
I kind of actually thought a little bit the opposite.
Okay.
Because I think that her saying I miss us as friends is almost showing how much love that they have for each other. That, if anything, at least in that respect, like, when you care about somebody and you love somebody so much, you want them in your life no matter what, even if it is just as friends. So you miss them as friends, just having them around to talk to. So to me, that's what I was hearing, like, was I miss speaking to you in an intimate way, and whatever, maybe we can't be together or whatnot, and I'm not even thinking about you in that way, but I just miss the basis of our friendship, which obviously would involve more once they started to have that friendship because it's naturally there. And I felt that they didn't show the stuff in the car because they wanted to keep us on that last conversation, which kind of gave us hope again for them together.
And Lisette Escobar mentions that when Steph and Diamond were talking, and she's like, "Oh, is that her boyfriend?" That she said no, but didn't clarify who it was.
Yeah. Because I don't think, you know, it was Diamond's business to know.
Right. That's true. Family's family.
I don't think. Yeah. I mean, she's obviously very curious about Callie because I think she's jealous of Callie's situation.
Of course,
I'm sure
they always are.
Yeah, and that's fine. You know, she's in like a terrible situation, which, you know, brings me to like, let's talk about her. So this whole Diamond thing, obviously the pimp tried to reach out to Diamond on the cell phone that was Callie's, couldn't get her, so sent someone else to get Diamond a phone.
He did.
That was
himself.
him.
That was Russell.
Wait, that was the guy?
Yeah, that was him.
Oh, see, I didn't think it was the guy. I thought it was,
no, because of the pictures, because of the Facebook.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
over my head. Whoop. Bye. I think I have a fever. I don't know. No, seriously.
She does.
I was gonna say, I think that's actually confirmed. So yes,
I'm literally here for the Fosters. Like, I'm gonna be in bed right after this.
Yeah.
So they dropped the phone, and it's very confusing to me because I get that Steph is a detective now, and her job is sort of dangerous, but this whole thing seems like a lot to tack on to what's already going on.
Oh yeah.
Don't you think? Like, I'm stressed.
I know the fact that we're having all of these legal conversations for the Fosters is like crazy to me. I almost feel like we're doing an after show for a different show.
Right. Well, it's just because it's getting
crazy.
serious. But that's almost why I liked it, because there was a moment while we were watching the show that it wasn't Freeform anymore. It was like, it was definitely a show that people watch. Like, and someone the other day compared it, because I used to always say it's like Family Matters and Full House together. And then Jason Eichler I was with, and he's like, no, it's like Seventh Heaven. But this day and age, I was like, oh, you're right, because Seventh Heaven went through all like all these issues, but this is just the most realistic that we've ever seen it, and it's getting serious where other people can be in, like, older generation can be involved and really get into it.
Well, we're not older.
I know.
But there's nothing wrong with older.
Right.
No, I think it's reminded me of Law & Order SVU a little bit.
Agreed.
Just them sitting, Steph and Diamond sitting, and her, you know, obviously it's really hard because Diamond, I do believe in my heart of hearts that she would like to get out. I just think the fear is deeper.
Of course.
And when you're in a situation like that, you know, also, I don't believe that she beat up that girl.
You don't?
I don't think so. I think she took the fall for the guy.
Really?
I don't know. Like,
I think she did.
Because they always say how, oh, they'll do anything for the pimp. Like, they'll, you know, I don't know, because he cares for her.
But I'm saying I think that he might have, should it backfire, he can blame Diamond.
Well, yeah.
So he has his back. That's why he makes the other women do it.
Oh man,
the bottom bitch, like she says. She's
so
me.
good though, y'all. I can't stop just being amazed
really
by
like
her every time she's on
well,
screen.
we found out a little bit about her
Hey,
backstory.
Monica Gallegos says, Jillian, thanks for hanging in there.
Oh, hey, I'm trying. I'm sweating a little bit. So we found out a little bit about Diamond's backstory. So she was assaulted by family members, uncles.
Unbelievable.
Starting at 11 years old. So this
cousins and uncles,
which is like makes me sick to my stomach.
A lot of people in the United States go through this. Most girls and boys are sexually assaulted by people that are close to them. Yeah. Because that's the only ones that are capable of doing it.
And all she was craving was like
something that she could get out of it. She got used to it anymore. The sex part doesn't even faze her, clearly.
Well, no, because
she
now
just wants someone
she's
to love
like, now I never got anything for that sex.
Yeah.
Now I turn a few tricks and I'm taken care of. And, you know, I have somebody that loves me.
Right. That knocked your ass out, too, because we saw that black eye.
Yeah, like, it's just, I don't know. And now, not only are we dealing with the sex, but we're dealing with crystal meth and drugs. So now not only the girls are having sex with these guys, but they're turning over drugs too, which adds a whole other layer to things. And it's just terrifying. I mean, the cop that works with Steph said something that really hit home to me, and she was like, you know, we keep sort of dropping these like hopeful. We keep dropping hope, and then hopefully it blossoms. I think it was something like that.
Right,
you know,
planting the seeds,
and then one time it'll blossom. And you only hope, because that poor other girl, the 14-year-old that Diamond was shown the pictures of, it's just like really heartbreaking that we're seeing this stuff on Freeform. I just keep like forgetting what network we're on, because I compare this show, and I don't know why I compare the show to all the other shows, because it's not like that.
Right.
This is like on another level.
It is.
And like,
I think it's because we're dealing with a family in San Diego, but it's the first one, like it's supposed to be this like happy joy place, and really it's like, no, this is what they're dealing with. And guess what? Not all families get to have it that good. And they're coming from a good background, but they still got to go through it. So
it's so this situation is so real.
It is its own.
And we you know, you look at the other shows that are on the network, and nothing is like this. Like, we're not dealing, you know, we're not being shown like
it's not just
photos of a beat up preteen and dealing with pimps and foster kids and all of these abortions, and it's just like, it goes around my mind sometimes, like it's like a whirlwind, but I love this show because it's on such another level with everything else that we're seeing now.
I feel like it doesn't do anything just for entertainment value, which other shows, that's basically what all other shows are doing. But like, everything they do on the show is to shine light on something that other people aren't doing. And that makes people want to watch. It makes it entertaining.
Yeah.
It's like honest views.
Exactly.
You know? Damn.
That's nuts.
So let's quickly talk about this, since this wasn't like a major point of the episode, but loved the Lena and Monty Ocean's 8 stakeout portion of the episode. Really glad the band's back together. Love you girls. You're great. I know Sherri watches, so hi Sherri.
Absolutely.
And you know, it's really it's cool to see them together, and it's shady as hell.
Yes.
That Nick's dad could possibly be funding this private school.
Right.
What the hell?
But like they said, it could be something personal, so who knows?
I don't know.
Because when they said that, I was like, what if Nick's dad got principal dude who nobody likes, and I can never remember his name,
to go into the school as a vice principal and stuff? Possibly. I mean,
and sabotage everything.
Yes.
Yeah, but in regards to what though? Because where's Nick at this point? So really, it's just revenge. You're just that mad that it happened. I mean, people.
And do you think it was Nick's dad that was there talking with the principal that day?
Yeah, because I don't know if we ever saw him.
Yeah, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't. It probably was, because we only heard them.
I just don't even, I don't know what, this is another level to what we have to break down in the finale, which we only have one episode. Like, I have no idea how they're going to cram this into 50 some odd minutes. I just don't get it.
You know what? He could be just making a legacy for himself, and if he makes it a private school, because if it's his money with his name, and now he doesn't have a bad rep to his name. You know what I'm saying? He really is, because the last thing that was known about that is just that his son did the shooting and ruined the school, but not anymore, because we made up for it and we made it better. Right. And now the school is called the Nick something private
Exactly.
school.
Then it makes his
probably
kid look
just like
good
the
again.
Stratos Academy.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. It's crazy. But what I do want to bring up is, we had talked about this previously, but Mariana's secret Twitter backfiring.
Yes.
Obviously, as soon as she deleted that tweet, I was like, oh, somebody screenshotted that.
Right, of course.
That's my life.
Of course.
I screenshot. Whoop, right when it happens.
Legit.
Yeah.
And not to mention, she was the only one posting on that Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, that account would have worked had she been posting anonymous posts from other people, like sending into her.
Like Gossip Girl.
Yes. But like by posting only her own personal like secrets or secrets of those around her, it made it so easy to point at her.
His face was brilliant when he read that, the one about Emma. Brilliant, like it hit home, like well done, sir. And that does suck. It's too bad that like Twitter and like the people think that way. And yes, it might be entertaining, but oh man, that sucks. Because it bit her in the butt 100%.
Well, that whole thing with Jesus broke my heart because I really didn't think that he was going to find out that way, or at least I hoped that he wouldn't find out that way. And it was kind of upsetting to me, especially, you know, in the episode that we had seen the Mariana and Emma interaction when obviously Mariana confronted her. She probably shouldn't have done that. But again, Mariana's been trying to own her power and confronting people, and she's been a lot more confrontational and honest over things, and I don't know, like that was really hard for me to watch. It was uncomfortable
when she was speaking to Emma about it.
And then Emma was like, it wasn't his choice. And she's like, you're right. But it's like, it wasn't her choice.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't his choice.
True, but like Mariana said, she said true, so she wasn't going to take that away from her. However, like she said, and that's what I thought. The first time it happened, I was like, but they're adopted. So just like, you know, run it by them or something. Obviously, it would have been an alternative, but, you know, again, it's her choice to have the baby and give it up for adoption. It's one of those things I think people forget that if you're going to have the baby, I'm going to keep it. You know, and I applaud all the people in the world who are able to just so strongly say, I can't do it, so someone else take this baby. Because it's like, how could you ever see it and then let go of it? But I don't know, it is what it is. I just can't wait to see what Jesus really says, because we see that he clearly has a bad reaction to it and runs off, but I want to hear the beginning discussion. I want to hear what his real sentiments are and how he's going to, more towards Emma. Clearly he's going to be pissed off at Brandon that he didn't say anything and mad at Mariana that she didn't just say it when she could have, but how is he going to feel towards Emma?
It's kind of cool though. I mean, I feel bad. I get frustrated with Mariana, I guess I should say. But it is kind of cool watching her go through this struggle of trying to say exactly what she's thinking and be more ballsy about things and upfront. But at the same time, she doesn't really know how to properly confront people. You know what I mean? Like, her intentions are right, I think, but she just didn't approach the conversation with Emma properly. And then when Brandon comes at her in that way and kind of puts her in her place, I felt like you could see Mariana having that moment of like, yeah, I actually wasn't the best of friend in the way that I handled that, and I didn't necessarily think about her. So I think I'm liking watching her like learn how to properly communicate with people. And then in the other sense of like Emma and Jesus and everything going on with them, yeah, agree. Just when he read that text and like just watching him take that in and not immediately say it, and like I actually thought he was going to immediately say it to her.
Yeah, I kind of wish he did, but then I remember it's a TV show. We have to wait for things.
Right.
We can't get like instant gratification.
But also because it was that deep, so I think that there's going to be a sentiment of sadness in addition to him being angry, and like something that you have to process, and like, what am I about to say, and is this really about me? And you know, it's just so confusing. That was tough. And, you know, I think it was really tough because Mariana clearly knows that she wants to be a good person and wants to do better things. So then to hear Brandon, your older brother, who pisses you off sometimes, say that you're a crappy friend, one, you have to kind of accept that you possibly are, but two, but no, I'm not a crappy friend because I wasn't trying to do that. So that's really frustrating to be like a teenage girl at that time when you really are just trying to look out for everybody. But
right, which breaks your heart. Like,
but then you're the crappy friend, you know? You're like, no, because she should have said some shit too. But what do you do? It's so, man. High school stuff.
Right, that's what I was thinking when that happened. I was like, God, just so many emotions and feelings and opinions from so many people. It's so much a lot. It's a lot when you're young.
And you know
so
what?
Much.
I think what I applaud about this family, coming from different cultural backgrounds, it's something innate. The way that you react, like it's in your blood how you are. Like, yes, Latinos are sometimes a little bit fiery, you know what I'm saying? Like, just so you, and then having Brandon, that's all, you know, like his mom, so they react the same way.
Yeah.
And then having Callie and Jacob that were abused when they were younger, so they're gonna react a certain way. And then Lena, coming from a biracial background, she's gonna react a certain way.
Yeah.
So for that dynamic to even work is just unbelievable to me,
very
because
true.
how do you find that happy medium?
Yeah.
They have no control over the way that they are as humans.
Yeah.
And then to see, like, that moment where we see Mariana and Jesus watch Gabe and Anna, like, it's so difficult. I was telling the girls, Jillian and Hannah, that even though you come from such a beautiful family, to see Gabe and Anna in a good place, and then to see what you have in common with them, I'm sure even though you've never gotten to spend time, that you could be like, damn, that could have worked. And they probably even feel more of a connection for whatever reason it is,
Sure.
even though they've never had any relationship with
Well,
them.
they both had the same looks on their face. It was that longing. It was that, you know, and then obviously it sort
and their
of,
parents are beautiful.
Yeah.
And that also hurts, you know?
it does. And especially seeing Gabe being so caring towards the
Isabella.
baby. You know, like, and that was the first time they met, which was a darling moment that we got to see on camera.
It was.
Yes.
But what was really heartbreaking but also very important, I think, is when Anna was with Mariana at the doctor's. And, you know, we think that Anna is this, like, you know, strong mama now, but, like, there is some deep-rooted stuff in her that she can never forget. And you know, for her to say that Mariana and Jesus dreamt up being left in their crib with poop-filled diapers and no food, and these memories that they sort of have, you know, it's truly heartbreaking. I mean, listen, if I was a mom and I had issues, you know, I wouldn't want to think that. And actually, Steph, you brought up a really good point about Isabella, when you were like, you know, I bet Anna is thinking like, oh my God, how could I have ever done that? Like, I have this baby right now who she's very attentive to. You know, Isabella's her everything, and she really has her stuff together. But for her
that's
to
of
sort
course
of
what she
walk
thought.
out and be so frustrated, and it's like we have to remember that, you know, she is a work in progress, and people forget it.
Of course.
When characters have good moments, you know, everyone is a work in progress. You don't know what's going on with everybody. You don't know the story behind everyone's, you know, chapter book.
Exactly.
And clearly, she still has a lot going on.
And this is the thing that we're constantly trying to tell people, why we're trying to be there for people, because we all understand that we're humans, that we make mistakes. And as an adult, why the adults start going to therapy and other things is because they're starting to accept things from their past. So Anna being in a position where she used to be an addict, and again, it's the whole thing, the thought of Isabella, because I'm sure instantly and unfortunately she thought of leaving Isabella by herself, and that she would never, you know. And I was with my nephews this weekend, and I kept looking at Kaysen, the youngest one, and I'm like, oh, if he fell, his head, this, every little thing, if something bad happened, you know. So to think that you did do it, and like Mariana said, we were in our own shit, you know, our feces. They were babies. They had, and the fact that they remembered it, and because she didn't say it, but she should have said, it's because it was so traumatic. That's why we remember at such a young age. And how do you know, she has to deal with hearing it and accepting the fact that that's how bad of a person, how bad of a place that she was in. I mean, that's awful. I was not surprised at all that she walked out. And it sucks to see Mariana see that, because she's like, okay, so this dynamic would just have never probably worked.
Right. And then also Mariana has to deal with the fact that Anna doesn't want to admit it, which also makes Mariana, you know, that hurts her as well. Like, just hearts breaking everywhere for all the characters.
And Mariana doesn't get that. It's tough for Anna, you know, and that you have to. That's how you have to help people like that. You know, people always told me, I have friends that are addicts that are like, it is a disease, and that you crumble apart, and that's why it's kind of like a sensitive area, and that's why they have support groups. And what are you supposed to do? You know, this is we're trying to make them feel better, because that's why a lot of the people go through depression and then kill themselves. You know, that's why suicide occurs. That's why drugs occur that then lead to overdose, because people can't handle it. And if we're trying to promote that they can, then we have to be accepting of them and their issues from the past.
Well,
so true, and that was very sad.
Speaking
like,
of,
it was true what you said. It was sad though.
Speaking of taking your own life, we had this sort of heartbreakingly wonderful moment between Brandon and Jesus at the kitchen table which like these kitchen table scenes, I swear to God, every
They're
single
so
time.
good. That's what they're there for. I mean, look at we're on the table now.
It's just like I feel the love.
Yes.
So obviously we find out that Gabe did tell Lena that Jesus wasn't taking his meds, which was definitely the right move.
Of course.
And definitely the right thing for Gabe to do so he doesn't mess up further because he's already been blamed for so much. So like I totally get that, and obviously Jesus is pissed because, you know, he thinks he can't trust, whatever. I feel like when he's looking back in on the situation a couple years from now, he'll be grateful.
Absolutely.
But he feels that, you know, teenage. And it was so, the conversation that him and Brandon had was so nice. I love these brotherly moments. They're so wonderful. And for Brandon to tell Jesus, like, sex is not everything, man. Like, you need to chill out. Like, that's what I would have said. I mean, like, this is not the end of the world.
Right.
Like, don't worry about it. Like, you're not the only one.
And also, I'm so grateful for Brandon because I think eventually, and writers, I hope we see this scene one day, Jesus is gonna go to Brandon and say, "You were my dad growing up."
That's
you know,
Oh my God.
that's his father figure. That's who he had as an example, and that's the reason why he broke down, because he doesn't want to tell his moms that it does, and it sucks for a man, because guess what, for some men it does hurt to not be able to have sex. They have that drive, and at that age you want to be able to do that, and you want to make this girlfriend happy, especially if you feel that you have these insecurities about your mind and that she's only there for the physical part of it.
Well, that was so fatherly to me. It was like, man, you're way more than what you think you are.
Right.
And I
Absolutely.
feel like it's so important. I feel like there needs to be like a self-worth class for teenagers, because I did not know my self-worth until about 4 years ago.
Sure.
And how sad is that?
No.
I was in my early 20s. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like it's so important to know what you're worth and to know what you have going for yourself.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a whole like confidence thing. Like, Jesus was super confident on the outside.
Absolutely.
You know, like man of the school, like athlete. He was handsome, tall, charming, had a pretty girl, and then we have these deep-seated insecurities, which again, it's like you never know really what's going on below the surface.
Of course not.
And hopefully now, after this conversation, at least it helps him understand his self-worth a little bit more. And also, I love that Brandon said that there are other ways to please you, lady.
Because that's how the conversation would go as well. You know, I mean, you got real talk a little
I
bit.
mean, listen,
it
it's
was
not just one-sided.
It's not just one-sided, but it was so funny that he didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
So still, he's being a good brother by not like condoning, like, hey, this is what you got to do, brother.
Right.
But he's like, but talk to her about it, because that's true. Because he also doesn't know how Emma is.
Right.
So that was very smart, and I think that what's going to be beautiful about this is that a lot of men do get the pleasure of seeing a woman being pleasured, and he'll be able to learn that. And it's a very beautiful thing that it goes both ways, and you know, he can grow from this.
I hope that happens. Obviously, after him and Emma have a conversation about the tweet that he read, because
Yes.
as we know, they were about to fool around, and then the tweet happened.
Right, and this might be the end of the relationship, but
So
all right.
we don't know. We don't know. And one more Brandon thing, because like I
Adore him.
loved him this episode so much.
Me too.
But it really got me thinking, like, okay, so obviously the moment
Oh,
between
yeah.
him, Steph, and Lena in the beginning when they were like, we are so proud of you that you did this. And it was so, you know, you did the right thing, and, you know, just like reassuring him that the right choices were made, and it's Emma's job to tell Jesus, and it's nobody else's, and whatever. Obviously they're pissed about Grandma a little bit since Grandma knew about it. But it sucks that Brandon is literally helping everyone else, and all of his things are put on the back burner.
Completely agreed.
Like, I need to see him shine a little bit. I mean, we got to see a little bit of it with, like, the music therapy in the beginning of the season. But since then, I feel like he has been such a good person to be there for people and to be that just rock.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think he's learned to take that, and it's so sad, but it's inevitable. You know, that's not to say anything to a household that doesn't have that father figure, but the same way a woman is beautiful, a man is beautiful. And he is there. I think after turning 18 and having his little trials and tribulations, even with just Courtney and the kid and not getting into Juilliard, there's something to be said about when you turn 18 and when you leave high school, how you're rid of your ignorance a little bit. And I think that he is just subconsciously taking the responsibility of taking care of his family now. Well, he doesn't want to see them hurt. And again, playing the father figure. in this household.
Nobody's asking about Juilliard except for Callie.
Exactly.
It was this episode, and it was like a 2-second thing.
Which goes to show you why she is special to him.
Yeah. Because nobody else.
Right, which I love that they did a moment and brought that back up because it really hasn't been brought up. It's been like lost in the mix, even right when it happened. Like, they kind of brushed over all of it, and nobody's taken a moment to, like, they've never shown him being upset about it or anything. It just happened and it was done, and everybody else's stuff was more important, and he's just kind of
and he sees that
taking
though,
it.
and that's upsetting. He does. You could tell that he's just like, well, just now's not the time.
I just thought this was like a really, it was a really great episode for obviously a lot of other characters, but Brandon is like taking like a piece of my heart into the finale. Too. Like I love Brandon that he's been there for so many characters this season. It's been great. Anyway.
Agreed.
I think we talked about what we need to talk about. I just really want to talk about predictions because we had a hell of a preview.
I know, it scared me actually.
And now, you're
I don't even know what to think about it.
I haven't even checked my Twitter.
We had a lot. Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh my god.
I haven't.
Oh yeah. K5 Square just said the Courtney comment that they made. Yeah, we would have talked about that, but Jeff's not here, so. Next week. By the way, next week we're going to have Peter Page on, and he directed the episode.
I'm so excited.
I'm really
I've never met him.
I know. Jeff interviewed him for his podcast, LGBT Q&A. So he's been to AfterBuzz before, but not for our show. So really excited.
Super stoked.
You know, I just found out that the Q stood for questioning also. And I have to say that and queer, which queer means you're kind of all over the place. I like low-key think I'm queer.
Well, I think
That's
all
the first time I've ever said that out loud.
And on camera. Breaking news. You heard it first.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
Oh, yeah. AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
Oh, Lord.
No, but I just thought that was very interesting. I'm like, oh, God, doesn't that make it easier for everyone else? It's just like, well, I don't really know. I'm just a...
It's true. I think it makes that community so huge.
Everyone's tweeting at me. This is crazy.
It's true.
Okay, so we see in the preview. Callie is with Diamond. WTF.
Oh.
Excuse?
Gee.
What?
You see, because she's saying, like, she's just thinking, I'm not going back. You know, like, so then now she's just trying to get Russell to help her out and get some money and, like, so that she can leave. I don't get it. She just thinks that she should be a trick now. I don't understand how that's where her head goes.
I'm thinking maybe Diamond confided in Callie. I think maybe Callie, I don't know.
Oh, maybe she's just trying to help Diamond again.
Yeah.
And we just saw it for something else. We thought, okay, you're right.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
She's trying to go in there and, like, maybe get this 14-year-old girl out or something. Maybe she finds out. Oh, no, I hope.
Okay, so
there was a lot of blue and red lights.
So we have a tweet from...
Oh, yeah, Monica said something about blue lights special.
328.
Okay.
That somebody just tweeted at me, but it was from Peter's Instagram, and it's a screenshot of Callie in a very slinky top with blue makeup on.
No.
And I don't know who's next to her. Sorry, guys, that you're listening, but I'll retweet it so you can check out my Twitter at Jillian Leff if you want to see the photo that we're talking about.
Is she going, like, undercover?
Which makes me feel like she might be going undercover. This photo. We're
not even going to get to the trial, are we?
I don't even know.
Maybe
I don't think that we are.
Runs away. Well, she runs away. They're like, "Where's Callie? Where's Callie?"
No way she would be that silly.
Maybe she agrees to. Yeah, I don't know. You know how sometimes that's how they get them out of stuff. Like, can I do something to help?
Y'all, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm so sad.
And then we have to, hopefully nothing really bad happens to Jesus because it's raining and he runs out. He better not get in no car or anything like that.
Whoa, don't think those negative things.
Hold on. Well, I'm going to get more negative because I still can't get Hayden's comment out of my head, which was everything's different after the finale.
Yes, we had Christopher was saying that also. He's like, Hayden was right. Nothing's going to be the same.
So maybe something actually does happen to Callie. And I'm just saying that because it's not unheard of to
stop
kill off a main
not going to be a Rob Stark situation, okay?
Exactly.
That was Rob Stark and Jon Snow.
No, that's a different situation.
I mean, God, between that and Nashville, like, I don't know what to do anymore.
I'm just saying it's not unheard of. You know, we need to mentally prepare ourselves.
Right.
We need to take all the information in the next week. I suggest everyone tweet the three of us.
Prepare yourself for someone to die is what Jillian is saying.
I feel like I'm already near tears and it's not even next week yet.
Well, I would just say tweet the three of us with your predictions because we definitely want to hear it. Do you guys have anything else to say before we wrap this up?
If anybody's gonna die, it's gonna be Diamond. Don't tease with me about like
I don't know.
a main character.
Hey, Seuss, if you're still sad, I'll have your baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we leave it at that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stress.
Stephanie, during this week when people are going to tweet you their predictions, where can they find you at?
You can all find me on Twitter at Stephanie Giorgi and on Instagram at the Stephanie Giorgi.
Y'all can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the Hotshot Dude.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jillian Leff. And don't forget to tune into the finale next week where we'll have Peter Page live in studio and Jeff will be here too. See you next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.